This question popped out after I came across this video on YouTube.
Violence clashes have gripped parts of the UK in recent days.
Tonight, violence and vitriol.
Hundreds of rioters, many of them with their faces covered, vandalised homes and
in city after city, cars torched in northeast England.
There was some kind of countrywide protest in England just 3 months before our trip, and some of these peaceful protests somehow turned violence. And after watching this video, YouTube algorithms start recommending more other videos.
And now to the UK, where officials are dealing with a recent surge of knife crime.
That first time I got stabbed 9 times.
Which raised the question, how safe is the UK for tourists like us? The thing is, you can't really trust all the stuff you see on YouTube or the internet these days. A lot of times, topics are being amplified and fake news are everywhere. In this video, I'll share with you our experiences on how safe is the UK for tourists. The vibe we had from different parts of UK we visited. Do note that we are here for only 15 days, staying only a night or 2 in each places. And in some instances, it's just a day trip. So it was mostly from impressions of a short-term tourist. In our experiences, most touristy places are safe, or at least it felt safe. Cities like Bath and York, these are just absolutely beautiful places attracting both local and international holiday makers. We did not feel unsafe even while walking the street after sunset. It was also relatively safe for smaller towns like the one in Lake District and the villages of Cotswold. But then again, these are also places with very strong touristy vibe. Be it strolling back to our accommodation at night after dinner, or walking to our hiking destination before sunrise, there wasn't a single moment which we feel uneasy. The first place that triggered our safety conscious was actually at Nottingham. I apologize if I offended anyone for saying that. This is the first city we came across homelessness and drug addicts, and they are mainly in the city centre. We did not see a whole lot of them, but prominent enough to raise our alertness as a parent. It was also noticeably lesser tourists as compared to cities like Bath and York. Don't get me wrong, in the first place, I think it is a nice city. That's why it was in our itinerary. I always believe that even the safest place can be dangerous if we do not exercise our logic and common sense. When we walked into this popular pub under Nottingham Castle, planning to get dinner, my wife and daughter were straightaway greeted by 5 to 6 blokes shouting from across their table, "Hey ladies, kanpai!" Seriously, even I'm not from this part of the world, this does not sound like a friendly gesture, especially still being accompanied by the husband. And here's the point, when the vibe is not right, just leave. Scotland was good all the times, be it in the capital city Edinburgh or the more rural part of Scotland. People are just friendly and we feel safe all the times. Ironically, London being the most touristy city of them all, makes us felt the least comfortable. We still enjoy our times in London as a whole, and I'll explain why we felt the least comfortable here. We were here for the total of 4 days, and we were being advised by the locals on 3 different occasions to be aware of the safety issue here, especially in regards to bike theft in particular. With one even suggested us not to stay out too late in London. I mean, this advice subconsciously heightened our alertness whenever we are on the street. Homelessness was also more obvious in London compared to other cities we visited in the UK, especially outside the more popular tube station. There were also constant of police cars with siren on the street. To be fair, this occurred in other cities of UK as well, but just not as frequent as London. Anyway, after our first day here, we gotten so used to it that we just continue minding our own business. Our first 2 consecutive dining experiences in London was nothing but unpleasant. The waiter was very impatient with us.
What do you need? I'm just wondering, do you have my lager? I ordered.
This was actually my second attempt trying to get his attention, as my beer was not served after more than 20 minutes of taking our order. Seriously, the restaurant was quite empty at the point of our visit, so I do not see why the delay. And even when footing the bill, he literally just threw the card machine on the counter. And it was even worse during breakfast the next morning. This waiter denied to serve us tap water when requested. He claimed they do not serve tap water here. For those unaware, all or most restaurants and pubs serve tap water for free and only charge for sparkling water. He also delayed serving us our tea even after all our food was served for quite a while. I realized every single table that came after us had their drinks served, and on top of that, they were also given bottles of water. I later found out from another waitress that they actually do serve tap water here. I think this waiter is deliberately trying to make our dining experience as bad as possible. I suspect it was racially motivated, while our first encounter could be a mere bad service attitude. In both cases, they don't sound like English, the later ones sound like a French. It was unfortunately an unpleasant experience for us, but both incidents did not deter us from the overall impression of London. I mean, we also had great dining experiences such as this restaurant at Camden Market. The food and people here were absolutely lovely. Londoners are always minding their own business, and they are a bunch of friendly and compassionate people. There were constantly locals giving up their seats in the tube for my aging mother-in-law. Overall, we had a great time in the UK. We did not feel unsafe for the most part of the time. However, I think it is necessary to be cautious. Just do some background research on the places you wanted to visit and do not take safety for granted.